This fifth wheel RV is one of the most impressive fifth wheel RVs out there in the world that you will see. Between having the largest sofa that you're gonna find, the arguably best kitchen that you're gonna find, a walk-in closet, and 2 bathrooms, there's not much that is missed in this thing. It is really, really impressive, and there is so much more, so let's go take a look, come on. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Myles with Firmly Unbound, and we are here taking a look at this 2026 Jayco Pinnacle 38FB RK. That's going to stand for front bath, rear kitchen, and you'll be able to see the floor plan layout and the specs on the screen, but I'm just telling y'all right now, this is a big, beautiful, stunning, and just attention-grabbing fifth wheel RV. We're looking at a full body paint option here that you'll get from Jayco as well, but next to me is another Jayco Pinnacle that does not have full body paint. So this is what a standard model would look like with sticker decals on it. This is all automotive grade paint, and this is just one of their many color options for your exterior look on a full body paint Pinnacle. Now, we're gonna look at a couple specs here real quick. This is definitely 1-ton truck territory. You wouldn't wanna tow with anything less than that on something this size. It is definitely heavy. So we're looking at an unloaded weight with all of your propane bottles full at 15,942 pounds, 2,258 pound cargo carrying capacity. That gets us to a gross weight of 18,200 pounds there. And the hitch weight on this is 2,975 pounds. So safe to just say 3,000 pounds. So that is the amount of weight that is sitting on the hitch here that will be transferred directly to the bed of your truck. Plus the weight of your fifth wheel hitch in the truck as well, unless you decide to swap this out for like some sort of gooseneck adapter. Not a whole lot that we're gonna go through on the outside here first, but that doesn't mean there isn't a whole lot to talk about on the outside, so we will come back to this. But I do wanna mention one of the most impressive things on a Jayco Pinnacle, this is also true of the Jayco North Point also, is that you have 3 40-pound propane bottles that it will come with. That is going to be a greater propane capacity than any other fifth wheel RV out there that I have ever seen. So that is definitely going to allow you to be more of a full-time capable fifth wheel RV, even though there's a lot of other ones that are definitely full-time capable RVs that don't have that. That just really expands upon your propane capacity. Now, as we step inside, you can see this is the #1 selling luxury fifth wheel in the industry, so they say. I do believe that. This is a really, really impressive product at a very competitive price point. I think there's a lot of things about this product at the price point that it comes in at that definitely exceeds what we see in the rest of the industry. And then the overall aesthetic is certainly different than anything else out there. One thing this has that a lot of other fifth wheel RVs don't have that come in at the same price point is a security camera prep on the outside here, right outside your entry door. You also have a privacy shade already installed on this door here. Weight assisted step here as we go in and out, and as we step inside, just a magnificent looking fifth wheel RV. There's high gloss cabinetry in here, so very curious your thoughts on this. That is something that is certainly a statement when you walk in that you won't find in any other fifth wheel that I can think of. I've never seen anything else that has a high gloss cabinetry. The only things I know of in the RV world that typically come with a high gloss cabinetry or have the option for that are Class B motorhomes, which are like the van style motorhomes. Now with this floor plan layout, you pretty much get everything that you could ask for, minus bunk beds or some sort of, additional sleeping space like that. So you get the dining table that will extend out further, you get the desk space, you get a U-shaped kitchen, tons of countertop space here. Now with this sofa, these 3 cushions will pull out and make into a bed. So you do have the ability for those to make into a bed, which is an option there if you want additional sleeping space. There will be a slight little gap here between those cushions and these leg rests here. But you could fill those in with like pillows or something like that if you wanted to fill that space and make it one big sleeping area. We'll get to that in a second, kind of showing what the bed looks like. But as we go through this, this is also like top tier quality in terms of what you'll be looking at in fifth wheel RVs. The only way you're gonna kind of go up from this is if you get something that goes from like, this is still gonna be pretty much your standard 2-inch thick sidewall on a fifth wheel RV, and then there's some brands out there that will do like a 3 or 3¼ inch thick sidewall, like a DRV Mobile Suites. But you're also jumping up usually like another 30 grand to get to something like that. And there are some options on this fifth wheel RV too that will compete with those next tier up fifth wheel RVs that come with things like that, or maybe an independent suspension system or something. But other than that, I mean, the interior finish in here is pretty top notch. So you have this retractable tabletop space here. Pretty cool how this works. You can see it just extends out like so, and that gives you a really large expansive tabletop, and then it just retracts right back in, and it kind of is assisted there, so you don't even have to push it in. It just kind of retracts itself in. You have really nice looking chairs here, and you got some storage space back behind there. You also have storage space underneath here as well. And then this is solid surface countertops there, so I don't know if this is like a Corian material or if it's like a ceramic material or something like that, but basically it's a non-porous solid surface countertop. Pull down day and night shades on your windows. You have your switches here for lights, so you can see how you can turn the lights on and off, and you can also hold down these buttons and they act as a dimmer switch there. So pretty nice panels there. You'll find these throughout the fifth wheel RV to control the lighting. Nice modern ceiling fan in this area. Got your light fixtures up over this area. Big windows all along this campsite. Absolutely massive slide out around this area. And then we have our desk space. So you have these 2 additional folding chairs. So these can fold up to store away when needed. And you have, see your little kind of workstation area if you want to use that as, you know, that's kind of intended for there. You have some storage space underneath. I think if it were me, I would probably try to think how I would use this space exactly. If I were to sit down here, the height of this would probably work all right. I guess the height of this would be a little bit more user-friendly. Even this still sits a little high. You can see here that, you know, it's a little bit higher than like my belly area for the height on that. But I think that is designed to be able to give you a little bit lower surface to put a computer on to work or something of that nature. Pretty comfortable chairs. No carpets in the slide out, so you can see all the same style flooring there. As we get back into this kitchen, you got your pantry space here. There's a little carpet in there, but you have adjustable shelving through here, motion activated light. This pantry door kind of acts as like a, what do they call it? Like a liquid chalkboard, so you can write on it with a white marker, like you see there, whoever the heck wrote Magic Mike on that. You have your refrigerator and freezer right here, so more of a residential size refrigerator and freezer, or style refrigerator and freezer with the ice and water in the door. If we open this up, let's see here. Take that off real quick. Open this up, you can see what we got going on there. Pretty decent size to work with. Biggest thing definitely being the ice and water in the door. Turn around this way, we have a huge pantry there we'll open in just a second. Solid surface countertops all throughout here. Some hidden storage compartments we can see here and here that will be up underneath those cabinets. And we also have a barreled ceiling that gives an added additional ceiling height that most fifth wheel RVs don't have. See your pantry space there, adjustable shelving all throughout that space. And we have, might need to get your step stool out for this if you're under, you know, probably 5'10" for your storage up there, maybe 5'8", 5'9". Residential size appliances for the most part, a little bit smaller than residential size oven, but the biggest size you're gonna find in a fifth wheel RV for sure. All stained hardwood cabinetry finishes. So you have your utensil dividers through areas like this here, and then you'll have a little bit of storage under there. Soft close cabinet doors, kind of cool little storage space through here. Again, this also pushes back, plus you have dovetailed joints on these drawers as well. So basically the best drawer construction you're gonna find in a fifth wheel RV. Outlet here, solid surface countertops, real tile backsplash all throughout this area. And then we have our storage space around here. There is a lot of storage, so I don't wanna get, you know, overwhelmed with showing you guys everything, but that goes back to the corner. Nice big open space through here. That door stays up on its own. Big vent fan right over your cooking surface. That is very nice to have. I can't tell you how many times, even with a vent fan under my microwave in my travel trailer, not having a vent fan in the ceiling where my kitchen is, every time I cook in the camper, my smoke detector goes off like 5 times, every single time I cook. So it would be very nice to have that bigger vent fan there. Even if you do have a vent fan in the microwave, which this does, having that additional vent fan there, and I guess I should double check that and make sure Yeah, you have a vent fan right there, I believe, or maybe it's just blowing air up over the top. You know, I don't want to say for sure. It might just be blowing air up over the top for that and blowing it up. But nonetheless, that big vent fan will get that smoke up out of this space. Couple other things for storage real quick. You have this little, what they call this, like a Lazy Susan? Is that what this was called, I believe? So you have that in there. I haven't seen storage like that since the childhood home that I grew up in. You also have a dishwasher here in this fifth wheel RV. No storage under there. That's just a nice decorative piece. We have a charcoal stainless steel sink here. Have your detachable faucet, cup rinser, soap dispenser. It'll come with other sink accessories with that as well. Then we have some kind of hidden storage down underneath here. You see that utensil drawer tucks up underneath there. Same thing with this here. This is like a knife drawer, so you have those magnets for knives, and that can tuck up underneath there. Big storage around here. Gonna go through that kind of quick. You guys kind of get the point. Adjustable shelving in that one. And then down underneath here, you have a cutting board right there that can be removed. And you have the trash can slot in that allows you to basically just drop trash right into the trash bin. Last little bit of storage right through there goes back to that back wall. And then you have your 3 drawers right there. So that's pretty much everything in the kitchen. Heck of a lot of storage. A pop-up outlet tower right here that also acts as a wireless charging pad in the down position. And then additional outlets. That's it. Those are all your outlets. Pull down blackout shade on this window, plus a pull down day shade as well that lets a little bit of light in. So you have both the shade options. And then this is your view from the kitchen. So you get a great view of the whole rest of this fifth wheel RV. As we come back this way, 65-inch screen TV. That is a Sansui brand TV, which most people probably have not heard of because I've never heard of it outside of the RV industry. But it's about a 1080p smart TV. So if you want, you know, a higher end 4K TV or OLED TV, then you would probably have to bring your own TV in, but that's what's going to come standard. You have, again, the modern ceiling fan, 3 air conditioners in here. So you have the 3rd AC right here, and then the other 2 are up in the attic. So you have these returns right here. Those are going to be super quiet. And then they have a really nice ducting system in here. You have the ability to close different vents if you want to close them completely so air doesn't blow out of certain areas. Nice to have the option to do that. Also nice, like, you know, wood beam throughout here to give it that better, you know, home-like aesthetic and just a more, you know, intentional touch. And then as we go this way, you have an electric fireplace, so an electric heat source for you. You will have a heat pump in your main air conditioner here in the living room, which is going to be another electric heat source for you. Big windows all along this side, so you have windows on this side and windows on this side here. Good views around your whole campsite. Both of these seats will recline, so they have the pull strap recliners on them and they will lay down. We have the ottoman here in the middle that does have storage down underneath it. So you can see that storage space there. And this cloth material here matches the cloth on the seats. And then if we push this out of the way, we're gonna be able to get this bed out. So I'll show you how this is done real quick. Pretty simple and self-explanatory. It's just a trifold sofa. So if we remove this little table here, take these cushions, throw these out of the way. This is a like over 7 foot long sofa, by the way. So if you want to just take a nap on it the way that it is, definitely can do that. Lift this up, put the legs down. I'm just gonna put one down for time's sake, and you can adjust the height of those legs as well so it lays flat. Flip that little ledge down, and then this drops down and makes into a bed there. So you have the ability to get that additional sleeping space with this. It's basically like the width of almost a king size bed, but it's a little bit shorter. And like I said, you could put pillow cushions or something like that in this area, or pillows, if you wanted to fill these gaps in to make it kind of like one massive big bed for like grandkids or kids or something of that nature. If you have any grandkids coming along, or I don't think most people with kids in there, like if they're parents, are going to pick a floor plan model like this, but definitely, you know, more likelihood that like a grandparent would purchase something like this and bring a grandkid or 2 along and maybe have them sleep on the sofa here. Sofa is also big enough that you might not need to even make the bed out. You could just sleep on the sofa as it is. I know me as a grown adult, I'd be happy to sleep on that sofa. Couple last things, you have this nice little decorative ledge here, and then we have a floor sweep, part of your central vac system, so you can sweep all your dust and debris up into that area. Spot here to attach your central vac hose. I can't tell you how nice that would be to have in a camper. I gosh, I could sweep my camper floor dang near every day when I'm out camping. So go into this half bath, we have a porcelain foot flush toilet, really nice looking here. Get a good look at that two-tone cabinetry. Great storage, medicine cabinet in here as well, and a smaller vent fan here in the half bath. Up in this space, got some shelving there. Got some deeper shelving through here. That other spot has shallower storage because there's going to be bedroom storage back behind it. And then we have a nice little cubby space back underneath there. Underneath this area, this is going to give us a chance to take a look at the individual shutoff valves on the water lines. Love to see that. That basically means if you had a water leak in these areas, you can turn off the water to the individual source instead of having to turn off the water to the entire camper. And we do have a spot there for your toilet paper roll. Solid surface countertops in this space as well, and a stainless steel sink. And then as we back out of here, we have touchscreen control panel for this fifth wheel RV. Controls for your fan there as well. And then this will connect to your phone, so you can control everything on this fifth wheel RV from your phone. You have a coat closet right here. And a little bit more cubby storage there. As we go into the bedroom, you have a pass-through bedroom, east to west facing king size bed with a deep slide out. So lots of floor space here to work with. You definitely feel the effects of how deep this slide out is when you walk into it compared to some other fifth wheel RVs. Individual reading lights above each person with the lighter blue light and the warm light there. So love getting that option. Definitely looks better than the standard little puck lights that a lot of other brands will have in that area. You have your little cubby storage space there, some bedside tables, USB ports on both sides of the bed, light switches here right next to the bed, very easy and convenient. USB ports here, and then you'll have outlets on both sides of the bed as well. Not a whole lot of room to walk around the bed on this side, especially a little bit more room on this side, but not a great amount of space. You still kind of got a sidestep on either side of the bed, unfortunately. A little bit better than average mattress on this fifth wheel RV. And then down underneath here, you can see all your storage space that you have. Don't know if there's anything else under here that I really need to talk about. Not too much. Those are just kind of like standard things that come with your fifth wheel RV under there. As we turn around this way, got your 32-inch screen TV installed in this nice framed out setting there. We got 4 drawers, nice LED lighting. The lighting in here, I mean, they definitely put a lot of attention into all of the different lighting, which I really, really appreciate. Got some hidden storage there. Don't want to knock the decor off that they got on the end of the table. And then a little bit of storage on both sides. I will say, standing at, probably about 6'2" right now, maybe 6'3", but 6'2" or 6'1" without my shoes on, I definitely hit my head right here and have to duck to go down these steps. And going into the bathroom, pretty much the same thing here, where I intuitively just do it because I spend so much time in RVs. But if you're over 6 feet tall, you're gonna have to duck going in and out of these bathrooms. Got a sliding door here, and then as we go into the bathroom, you have a single sink here. I think a lot of people will like that. Most of the comments I've seen whenever they do a his and her sink is that they would prefer to just have one sink, and they think it's kind of pointless to have two. So I think most people will like that. Solid surface countertops through here, and a porcelain or like ceramic style sink there, whatever the material is. So really good quality with that. Very big size sink as well. And we have a huge mirror here in this area. We also have Liquefied. This is a black tank treatment that you can get for your RV at Blue Compass stores across the country. They're going to be in the pod formula, liquid formula, or powder formula, and you can also find it on Amazon and Walmart. That's going to make sure that everything that goes into your toilet breaks down properly, decomposes properly, or turns to liquid, why it's called Liquefied, and going to make sure that your RV stays smelling fresh. Speaking of toilet, we got a porcelain foot flush toilet. No soft close toilet seat on that, and that is a plastic toilet seat. Got your towels here. You still are kind of having something I've talked about quite a bit that I just realized so many RVs have these towel locations in a spot where you're just ultimately gonna, have your towel in a potential area for it to get splashed on if you are, peeing standing up. So that's just something to be mindful of. If I owned this fifth wheel RV, I'd probably put a little hook right here and hang my towel right there. You could even put a little hook up over this area. It might hang over the door a little bit, but that would still work for me if I didn't want it in that space. The shower is big enough though, you can easily hang a towel up over this end of the shower because this thing is huge. That is a really, really long shower, longer than pretty much any other fifth wheel RV you're gonna find outside of the Jayco lineup. And then you have a nice looking kind of shower tower arrangement here, spot for some soaps, a incredibly huge skylight. And as I step inside here, because we do have the barreled ceiling, you can see if it wasn't for the skylight, I mean, the ceiling height is not great because the barreled nature of the ceiling as we get towards the sidewall. But when I step up into the skylight, I mean, there is plenty of room here to work with. And as I get closer to the middle of this area, you have height for probably about 6'5" before your head's gonna touch that. Now I certainly have to duck to get under the shower head if I want to, and duck quite a bit. You have a wand, but most importantly for the tall people is you have a seat here. So you do have the ability to sit down on the seat, and that is going to be the solution for the taller people, and especially the people taller than me, as I know there's a good number of you that watch these videos that are taller than me, that are like 6'5", 6'6". Then we have one of the coolest aspects of this fifth wheel RV, this walk-in closet. To the right, you're going to have washer and dryer connection, so you can do a stackable washer and dryer. You have shelving through here, and then this is all like cedar wood lined through this area. So many different rails to hang your clothes on, and then we have another one here to the left. You certainly can like walk into this space, and you have all this shelving right there. So this is a pretty just impressive closet. Certainly one of the best ones that you're going to see in any fifth wheel RV. So curious your thoughts on that. And as we step back out, that is pretty much everything. Last couple things though is the storage. So you have your drawer here, little cabinet space there, and then we have storage space here underneath the sink and your spot for your toilet paper. Close these doors there. They have magnets to hold it in place. And as we come back this way, tankless on-demand water heater. And we're gonna walk out this way, and that is pretty much everything on the inside. Hate that I made it such a mess with making this out into a bed, but curious what you think about the inside. There are a few more things to talk about outside, so let's head out there. And as we step outside, we have a full body paint scheme on this again. There's gonna be multiple different color options that you'll have from Jayco. So you can see those here, what those look like, and what their names are. Absolutely massive storage space. So they're dropping the frame here, and they do have this skirting that covers that frame, and they also have LED lights underneath here. So if you store anything under your camper at night, you can see it, or just if you step outside, you have that good lighting here so you can see where you're stepping. But absolutely massive storage space. Another thing that is so nice that Jayco does is you have the Astrofoil added layer of insulation here. This is like the actual bubbled foil insulation underneath your flooring. Almost no other fifth wheel RVs have that on, you know, the subfloor of their fifth wheel. So really like to see that. Aluminum framing all throughout this area, welds on both sides of the frame. And you have a Nuvo H2O 3-stage water filtration and water softening system there as well. Outlets right here, central vac system, tankless water heater with that 120 pound propane capacity. I mean, you could take warm showers for days in here. That is so much propane capacity. You have a spray port here to connect an outdoor water source there, JBL outdoor speakers, outdoor television, and then down underneath here you have the Cooper H-rated Work Series tire. And this has the Moride CRE 4000 suspension system down underneath here, which is one of the best suspension systems you're going to find standard on any fifth wheel RV. This is the only brand that I know that is putting that on standard from the factory, which is just awesome. This is an access door to the back side of your refrigerator there. Back along this side, we have this little J-port access area to this little support spot where you're gonna slide this tray thing. I'm having the hardest time explaining this without being able to demonstrate it and show it, where it's gonna be like this whole outside entertainment area that's going to have a griddle cooktop on it. It's a Halo griddle cooktop that is really, really nice. It's so nice. When I saw them last year here at this Jayco event, I went and bought one myself for my travel trailer. It is really, really cool what it comes with that. So that is going to be something where it will slide into that area. And I believe it might even have a little like outdoor sink area with that too. You can see I have color changing LED light strips underneath the awning. Coming to the back side of this fifth wheel RV, we have a molded fiberglass rear cap. So that's gonna be something where, you know, most fifth wheel RVs are like this North Point right here that have a laminated rear cap, and then you'll have like seams all around the edges and whatnot. This is one molded fiberglass piece, and definitely not only looks a lot better, but also just has a lot more strength and rigidity to it, and is going to be something that should certainly last a lot longer. You have your 3,000-pound towing hitch along the back. You have a 50 amp power cord reel on this fifth wheel RV, one of the few fifth wheel RVs that will come with this standard. So you have a power cord reel, meaning you don't have to lug your 50 amp cord around, which is so nice because these things are heavy, they're kind of annoying. And then this also allows you, as this retracts in, to be able to just hold a rag and clean that off as it goes in. You have your drain valves here for the sink. You can see your valves are up underneath the underbelly, so that is going to mean that this is more of like a true Four Seasons camper, so that water won't be able to get into this area and freeze unless you open your valve, which is great. You have spot to store your sewer hose, fully enclosed underbelly. All your water tanks and water lines sit above the enclosed underbelly. And your water tank should also have 12-volt heat pads on this fifth wheel RV. Frameless windows here. And as we come to this side, you'll have the rest of your black and gray tank dump valves for the rest of this fifth wheel RV right here, or I guess the spot where they dump out, the valves aren't here, but the valves are going to be in this storage space right there. All your water connections with the Nautilus water management system. You have a spot to plug in more solar there, your auto leveling controls, and again, your storage. The only thing I don't like about this is you have to duck to get underneath this area. So it's under your slide out, so you have to duck to get under there. Finally, you have the Dexter tow assist on this. So this is going to be an ABS system, a sway mitigation system, and a towable odometer. And if I didn't mention it, prep to add a generator already up front, prep to add side cameras as well. And you have the MORryde pin box, which is going to be one of the best pin boxes you'll find standard on a fifth wheel RV coming out of a factory. And you also have a light right there. So if you are setting up in darker conditions or taking your fifth wheel out of your truck in darker conditions, you can more easily see what you're doing. And that is pretty much everything. Now, price point on something like this with a full body paint scheme is going to come in somewhere around I want to say like $130,000. It's going to be in that $130,000 price range. You can get it without full body paint, and then you're going to find them more in like the $120,000 price range, if I remember correctly. But that's kind of what you're looking at with the Jayco line in terms of pricing from what I'm seeing. And if you're looking for your next fifth wheel RV, I'm getting those pricing numbers from Blue Compass RV. There's over 100 different Blue Compass RV dealerships across the country in the United States. And that is going to be where you can find a lot of different locations that carry the Jayco line, and we're here all over the place ready to help you out with finding your next RV. There's a link down below in the comments and description where you can find a store close to wherever you're located at, and we can't wait to help you out. So that's all I got for y'all. Very curious your thoughts on what you think about this fifth wheel RV here. So let me know your thoughts down below, and until next time, live firmly unbound.